In this video, we'll be traveling to different parts of Nigeria to explore 5 different dishes that are unknown to more than 80% of the Nigerian population. Some of the dishes in this video are so unknown that I only came across them during my travels.
And the cassava we use to prepare this particular meal, right? It grows locally here.
For the first dish, we'll travel to Anambra State to eat what the ancestors ate back in the days. This food is called Mbiri Ugani. Mbiri Ugani is a very nutritious food that has been around since the days of our ancestors.
This food we are talking about is called Mbiri Ugani.
Mbiri Ugani. Okay.
I have the privilege to witness this food and eat it while I was growing.
Okay.
I've only eaten it 2 times.
It is one of those forgotten food recipes that was born out of the need for survival and later retained its place because of how delicious and nutritious it came to be. The name Mbiri Ugani is from an Igbo dialect which means to quench hunger, and this food was literally used by our forefathers for that particular purpose.
This food is being eaten when there is nothing left at home to eat and there is so much hunger in the family.
Okay.
You now have to remember that you have cassava. Then, when you brought out cassava, you can pound it. It's either you pound it.
Is it dry or wet cassava?
Dry cassava.
Okay.
Then you can pound it or you grind it. Now, after grinding it or pounding it, each one you prefer.
Okay.
That is more easier for you.
For you, okay.
Then, there is these 2 vegetables that we use.
Okay.
One is green. The second one is ahiara.
Okay.
That ahiara.
One, the green is like a
vegetable.
Okay.
Then ahiara is also a vegetable.
Okay. Mbiri Ugani, which is a mixture of specially prepared cassava and vegetable sauce, is said to be one of the most delicious foods you will ever eat. So I have come to Unoi, a community in Unoi North local government area of Anambra State, to learn how to prepare and eat this food. Is there any cultural significance of this food to the people of Anambra State?
I don't know if other parts of Anambra are eating it.
Okay.
But where we are now is Unoi, and this is where I've eaten it in the past. So I don't know about other parts of Anambra.
Okay, that means you are not sure if other parts of Anambra State eat this food.
No, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, guys, if you are from Anambra State or anywhere in Nigeria and you know your people eat this food we are talking about, do drop a comment. Tell us the name you call it in your local dialect, and if you've had the experience of eating it before, how did you love the food? Mbiri Ugani is more than just a nutritious food. It is a connection to our ancient ways and a celebration of the simple yet profound art of cooking. This ancient Nigerian vegetable dish offers a glimpse into the culinary wisdom of our ancestors. With its rich history, simple preparation, and impressive nutritional profile, Mbiri Ugani is a dish that deserves recognition and revival.
I invited you here for you to know about it,
okay,
to let people know about it, because it's very, very nutritious.
Okay.
So, and I want people to start eating it again.
Okay, you want to bring back the ancient recipe?
Yes.
All right. So, what are these health benefits, or should I say the nutrients you say that someone can get from eating this food?
Okay. Number 1, there is okpaka in it, which has protein.
Okpaka, Imo State people eat it a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
And okpaka is being used in this particular.
Yes. It will be nice.
And there's vegetable. Then there's cassava, which is
carbohydrate.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can see that it's a balanced diet.
Yeah, carbohydrates, minerals, and vitamins, then protein, all in the same food. Wow, this is a superfood.
Yes.
A superfood. All right, I would like to see how. I want to show my viewers how they make it step by step. Okay. Is it possible?
Sure, there is somebody that can prepare it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. The ingredients you need include dry cassava. You will need to pound or grind it to a flour like this. You will also need green amaranth leaves, locally known as akwukwo green, ahihara or jute leaves, okpaka or processed oil bean, palm oil, onions, crayfish powder, ground dry pepper, and salt. Start by passing some plantain leaves over open fire. This is done to soften and sterilize the plantain leaves, after which you cut them into smaller pieces, wash them, and set them aside. Now heat up some clean water. As the water is on fire, mix the cassava flour with some water to form a paste. Take a piece of the plantain leaf, rub some palm oil on the surface and slowly place some of the cassava paste on it. Cover with another piece of plantain leaf, fold and tie it tightly. Continue till you wrap all the cassava paste like this. Now put the wrapped cassava into the pot of boiling water and cook for at least 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, Bring them out, unwrap them and set them aside. Now pick, wash and cut your vegetables and onions. Put a clean pot on fire and add the vegetables. Also add the onions, crayfish, dry pepper and ukpaka and mix very well. Now add salt to taste and some palm oil. Mix to combine very well and allow the sauce steam for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, cut the cooked cassava into tiny bits. Add the cassava into the sauce and mix everything together. Allow to steam for 1 minute and your Mbiri Ugani is ready. Alright guys, so here we have the ancient Mbiri Ugani from Anambra State. It's time to taste this food and I'll tell you guys how it tastes. Alright. Okay, look wise, this looks like a vegetable sauce to me. It looks like a vegetable sauce. So I just want to know if it's going to taste nice, but I think it's going to taste nice. Yes. Wow. Oh. This is the kind of things I like. I can't see where they put the cassava. I want to taste the cassava. Okay, I've seen it. Okay.
I told you you're going to like it.
Okay. The cassava is rubbery, a little bit of rubbery, and then but it absorbs the flavors of this sauce, the vegetable sauce. The vegetable sauce is a little bit slimy, maybe because of the ahihara leaf that they use here. So it's a little bit slimy. It's spicy. The food on itself is spicy. It's wonderful. The onions and this ukpaka, the combination of these vegetables with the onions and the ukpaka made this a very, very wonderful food to eat. And it's light. You know, it's a light food. Why is it now something that hungry? Someone that is hungry can eat this thing one full pot now.
But it's not possible.
Yes, I can eat this like 10 plates because this is wonderful. It's nice. Thank you for showing me this food. I would really love if more of you out there prepare this kind of nutritious and delicious food. We don't have to allow this food to become extinct and people will not know about these foods again. Let's bring back all these ancient food and eat them because this is a very, very, very healthy food. The onions, the ukpaka, the vegetables, and then, you know, I don't like things made with cassava. I always say it, but this one is different because the cassava here, it absorbed all these nutrients. And when you combine it with this vegetable like this, oh, this is wonderful. The second dish is a soup that looks and tastes very similar to egusi soup, but most Nigerians know nothing about it. I traveled all the way to Delta State to eat this soup. This soup is called Itetele. Abal Obodo and Abal Unoi collectively make up the Abala Kingdom, which is located at the northern part of Ndokwa East Local Government Area of Delta State.
Welcome to Abala Kingdom.
Thank you very much. This town is a beautiful and serene place to come to when you want to be in complete tune with nature. The Abala people are mostly farmers and fishermen due to the abundance of fertile lands and rivers in the town. Abala is also home to one of the biggest philanthropists in Delta State, Chief Dr. Christopher Iwale, known as the Odogu of Abala Kingdom. So you can see the environment. It's a very beautiful place. When you are here, you are close to nature. I came here to film two of their most important dishes, Ofe Itetele and Osami. But this video is all about the Itetele. Honestly, as we are coming here, my brother, this place is far.
It's far because it's the first time you are coming it.
Okay.
Like it's not far. We normally pass it.
It's your village.
Yes.
It's not. It will not be far to you.
Yes,
but it will be far to me.
Yes.
Honestly,
because this is the first day we are coming.
I'm coming to this place. Yes, you are right. Ofe Itetele is prepared using a special type of seed known as Itetele by the locals. I've never come across this seed before, so I don't know anything about it. If you know anything about these seeds, kindly tell us in the comment section.
The Itetele is the most important food in Abala Kingdom.
Okay. The Itetele seed looks and feels exactly like melon seeds or egusi. The only difference being that the Itetele seeds are smaller in size when compared to egusi. So I won't be surprised if the two plants were related. This soup is the most important soup to the Abala people, as this is the soup they cook ceremonially, especially when they want to thank the gods of the land.
As you know,
You know, we Abala people, we are traditional people.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
We normally do tradition.
Okay.
Yes. We normally use it if we want to do festival. You know, we have one festival they call Ulo.
Ulo.
Yes.
Okay, that festival you must cook this Itetele.
Yes, yes. We normally cook it in Ulo. Or if we want to serve our gods.
Okay, I want to understand. So this is a soup that you normally use to maybe pray to your gods.
Yes. We normally use it. Yes.
Okay, I want to know.
Yes.
Do you use it to do maybe something like a traditional marriage, burial, and all this?
No.
It is just for serving the gods.
Yes, or the festival called
The
Ulo.
Ulo festival.
Yes.
Okay. Ofe Itetele is so loved and cherished by the Abala people, such that it happens to be one of the reasons their people in diaspora come home during their festivals.
This one is Igbenu.
My journey to this place was not an easy one, so I hope this soup will be worth the effort. The ingredients you need include the Itetele and crayfish. You need to grind them together to a powder like this. You will also need palm oil, dry fish, onions, ground dry pepper, bitter leaves, seasoning of your choice, and salt. Start by chopping some of your onions. Now put a pot of water on fire. Add some palm oil and your chopped onions and cover to come to a boil. When it starts boiling, add your ground Itetele. Mix very well and cover to cook for 15 minutes. As the soup is cooking, pick and wash your dry fish and set aside. After 15 minutes, add your fish, pepper, seasoning and salt. Stir very well to combine and cover the soup to cook for additional 10 minutes. You can adjust with more water if necessary. After 10 minutes, wash and add your bitter leaves. Stir very well and cover to cook for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, your Ofe Itetele is ready. The preparation of this soup took less than 45 minutes. Alright guys, so here we have the Ofe Itetele. Okay, it's time for us to eat this soup and I will tell you guys how it tastes. Wow. Wow.
How is the soup?
Wow. Wonderful. So guys, look wise, this soup looks exactly like egusi soup. Egusi soup that is prepared with bitter leaf. Okay? Then taste wise, it's also similar to the taste of regular egusi soup prepared with bitter leaf. But there's a little bit of kind of a funky taste I'm getting from this Itetele. I feel like it tastes like egusi that has a little bit of fermentation to it, like a fermented kind of egusi. It's not much and it's not bad. Okay, it's really, really nice actually. But if you have not eaten it before, if you eat this soup, you would not know. You will feel like this is egusi soup. I would say that this is a more close alternative to egusi soup than maybe you say Benny seed, because there is a soup I ate in Ebonyi, they call it esesa. It looks like this, but the difference between that one and this one is that that one is a little bit, the texture wise is harder than egusi, but this one is just as soft as when you prepare egusi, just like egusi. There is no difference, just that little funky taste that if you are not like, if you don't have the kind of sensitive taste that I have, you might miss it. Like if you come to somebody's house, they prepare this and give you, you might feel like this is just egusi soup. So to me, I feel like this is just egusi soup. The third dish took us to a village in Imo State where I ate one of the most nutritious meals I've ever eaten. This food is called Unoi. Unoi is a delicacy that is named after the key ingredient used in making it, which is a species of banana called unene. This banana shares a lot of properties with plantain, so much that some people actually refer to it as plantain and not banana. The name Unoi means black banana in Igbo language, and this dish was given this name because it tends to turn black or metallic brown after cooking.
I will call it Unoi because when you make the food, it used to be black, kind of black.
Okay, the color dark.
Dark,
okay.
yes. So that's why we call it Unoi.
This food is very similar to ukpo ogede, which is a type of moi moi that is prepared using overripe plantain and is eaten all over Nigeria.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This place is Umuchiri, Eziamo Okwe,
Okay.
Onimo local government area of Imo State.
Okay.
Onimo local government area is located at the northeastern part of Imo State. It is made up of Okwele, Okwe, Umuduru, and Omona, where the famous Imo River is found. This river is where the name Imo State was gotten from. The locals from this place are very welcoming to strangers and are also known as great traders and farmers.
That unere is a special issue of plantain, or let me say it's a mixture of plantain and banana. So the food takes up the name as uneroji too.
Oh, okay.
You understand? And it's like moi moi,
Okay.
but it's made from unere, and instead of beans like in case of normal moi moi, this one is made from unere. But that unere, you can eat it in different ways. Like you can boil it and eat with red oil.
Okay.
You understand? You can leave it to ripen and eat it as banana.
So when it's unripe, you can eat it like the way you eat plantain.
Yes, when it's unripe, you can cook it.
Cook it and eat it
with
like
red
plantain.
oil,
Okay.
like plantain.
Okay. But when it is ripe,
When it is ripe,
you eat
can
it like
as
banana.
Yeah.
Which means it's like a mixture of banana and plantain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, it can also serve as swallow. You grind it in powdered form and make it as swallow.
You dry
make eba.
you dry it now.
Yeah, you
you
dry
dry
it,
it and make it
grind
into a
it,
powder.
yes.
And you can turn it and make it into a swallow.
Yes.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
But this one now, we are going to grate it, then wrap it with the banana leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, before
The
you
leaf
cook it.
from the same.
From the same banana.
Okay.
Then you mix some ingredients and it's a very natural food, very, very nutritious.
So, is there any special importance of this unonoji to the people of Okwe?
It is very, very important because it is not a common food, although it is common actually
To your people?
to my people.
Okay.
But because of the time it takes to make, they don't make it anyhow. So if you visit somebody and they serve you in a kind of you are welcome.
Because of the stress.
Stress they pass through is like okwa.
Okay.
You understand? You pass through so many stress in order to prepare this uneroji.
Okay, because I've gone to some places in Imo State. I've not heard about this uneroji.
I don't know of other places, but it's a very, very important dish in our place.
I normally ask this question when I go somewhere and I find out that there's a particular food they eat that most people don't know about. So I would really like to know if there's a health benefit you get from eating this particular thing.
There are so many health benefits attached to it. Well, especially diabetic patients. Most of them, they eat it as their own banana. They don't eat normal banana, yes. But like my grandmother when she was alive, every time you come to the house, you do neroji, she will give you as plantain, she will give you as white, you use red oil to eat it. She will now make the moi moi type of and still give you to eat. So it is very, very important. And when you are purging, they will give you the uneroji to eat.
Okay.
Yes. And when you eat it, will stop.
It will stop.
Yes, yes.
Oh. Anything that can stop running stomach is a powerful it's a powerful food. All right, I want to see how they are making this uneroji. This food has a lot of health benefits and I'm sure some people would like to taste it. So please, is there anybody that will show us how to make this food?
Sure.
Okay. Now why not let's go and see how they make it. Okay. All right, guys, let's go and see how the people of Okwe in Onimo local government area prepare their unene oji. Let's go.
The ingredients you need include the unene, palm fruits, fresh pepper, this species of tiny dry fish called obambo kirikiri by the locals, but you can also use any dry fish of your choice. You also need onions and salt. Start by cutting and peeling your unene. Wash the peeled unene and grate into a rough paste and set aside. Wash your palm fruit and put them into a cooking pot. Add some water and put the pot on fire. You need to cook the palm fruit till it softens. This should take 20 to 30 minutes. When the palm fruit is ready, pound it gently to separate the flesh from the kernel, then set aside. Transfer the unene paste into a bigger mortar or container. Wash and pound your fresh pepper and add to the paste. Also pound the onions and add to the paste. Now mix till well combined. Add some hot water to the pounded palm fruit. Mix very well to get the palm extract. Sieve the palm extract into the unene paste and mix to combine. Add salt to taste. Also wash and add your dry fish and combine. Taste and adjust any lacking ingredients and set aside. Now get your wrapping materials. The local wrapping material is plantain leaves and tender palm leaves. Heat the plantain leaves over open fire to sterilize and soften it. Then cut into long strips. Wrap small quantities of the unene paste with the plantain leaves and tie it tightly with the tender palm leaves and set aside. Now heat up some water in a pot. When the water comes to a simmer, add the wrapped unene paste into the pot and cover to cook for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, your unene oji is ready.
Yes, this is the unene oji.
Okay. Is there any special way to eat it?
No, just unwrap it.
Okay. Let's see what it's all about.
Okay. You see this part now. See that this part is black. You see the water is even black.
Well, it's not looking okay.
Not dark.
Yeah, some parts is black, but black, okay.
Yes. My mom told me that they use plastic grater to do this one. You know, things have changed. Nobody uses
the iron one.
Aluminium one.
Yes. Okay, if you use the aluminium grater to grate it,
according to what they say, it will
be black.
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, it's time to taste this unene oji. Okay. Look-wise, this looks like moi moi. You know moi moi, the one they make with beans. Also, texture-wise, it's just like moi moi. But when it comes to the taste, it's a little bit different from moi moi because I would say this is just like moi moi with a hint of unripe plantain inside it.
They won't even bring moi moi inside it at all because moi moi is made with beans.
The taste is like when you mix moi moi with
plantain.
with unripe plantain, just like that. So the taste you get from moi moi, the texture, the feeling of moi moi in your mouth, that's what you get with this. That texture of moi moi, this is it. But now the taste is different because it tastes like unripe plantain porridge made in moi moi form. That is really good. It's flavorful.
Before now, this thing used to be very cheap. Yes, I remember when we were small, my grandmother used to sell a bunch of this in 40 naira.
That's a long time ago.
Yes, we'll just be laughing at her. The others are selling plantain. Plantain 150 that time now. They are selling unene oji 40 naira. But now, people have discovered the nutritional values of this particular unene oji. So it's not very expensive in the market.
Like how much?
Now, like 3,000.
For one bunch?
3,500 for one bunch. Yeah.
Wow, from 40 naira to, wow.
Unlike before, you understand? You know, some people used to pound it, mix it with fufu. They will cook it, mix it with fufu, and pound. They believe that it reduces the sugar content of the fufu.
Okay, of the cassava.
Cassava, yes, exactly. So they mix it together and pound. Then eat it together. You can also pound it and eat it alone.
Just like swallow.
Just like swallow, yes.
Wow, this is wonderful. This is really nice. I like these small fishes. I'm seeing this area. When you chew it with the fish. Wonderful.
For the fourth dish, I traveled down to the southern part of Nigeria to a place called Etireket in Akwa Ibom State to eat one of the most unique and ancient dishes they have. This food is called ayanekpan and uton soup.
Welcome to Etireket, Mr. Epic.
Etireket is a local government area located at the southeastern part of Akwa Ibom State. It is a quiet and calm place known for their hospitality and their love for visitors. To get here, we had to pass through Eket local government area, which happens to be one of the most beautiful places in Akwa Ibom State.
UT,
Okay.
so what is this food you asked me to come here and eat?
Well, okay, the name of this food is ayanekpan and uton soup. The cassava we use to prepare this is prepared with cassava firstly, and the cassava we use to prepare this particular meal, right? It grows locally here. It's not all cassava that you can use to prepare this thing. If you want to use a particular cassava, it might react differently in your body. So it has to be like very specific to this place.
Oh, okay,
Yes, yes.
okay. So the cassava, you can't find it?
And you can find it, you know, cassava, they have different, how do I put it, like different types, right? So this particular one, it can be boiled and eaten like that, you understand? And it will have this yam flavor, right? Yeah, that's the one we use specifically
for the ayanekpan.
Yes, for the ayanekpan, yes. And the uton soup, right? It has a very complicated process of preparing
what
it.
I'm going to see.
You're going to see it definitely
right.
for sure, because it is like an ancient soup, like this. It's a very traditional soup, and it is very respected here in this part of Akwa Ibom State.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so this ayanekpan,
Okay.
you said the process is complicated. All right, I would like to know, since it's complicated, is it like a food you prepare on everyday basis, or is there like a special occasion where you will have to cook it?
Now, the reason why I said it is complicated is because if you don't follow the processes step by step, you might miss out something. You understand? Most of you get to see most of the ingredients that is used to prepare this soup. If you are not really careful, you might like not really get the soup, the uton the uton soup.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is why it has to be prepared by somebody that has this, that has the tradition, like in them. Somebody that was there when they used to prepare it. Because recently the soup has been like losing that, nobody really knows about the soup again. So the soup is not really that popular again. So today, luckily, you are here and you are going to see how we are going to prepare it from the ground up, every ingredient individually and how the process is.
Which means there's someone that...
Yes, somebody that will prepare.
All right, because I know that old people actually are the ones that will have more experience in the...
Yes.
It's okay. Let's just go and see how they make it. All right.
Sure.
The ingredients you need to prepare this food include cassava, plantain leaves, limestone or potash or uton in Akwa Ibom language, crayfish, cow skin, stockfish, any protein of your choice, dry fish, hot leaves or adusa leaves, editan leaves, okra and jute leaves, locally known as udot leaf in Akwa Ibom, and ewedu leaves by Yorubas. For the yenekpan, peel and wash your cassava. Grate the cassava into rough paste. Wash your cooking pot and line the inside with plantain leaves. Cut your plantain leaves into envelope-shaped pieces and wash them very well. Wrap the grated cassava with the plantain leaves and place them inside your pot. Seal the pot with extra plantain leaves and place the pot on fire. Add a little water and cover the pot to steam. After 10 minutes, add more water and cover the pot to cook through. After another 20 minutes, the yanekpan is ready. For the uton soup, start by cutting your okra, editan leaves, hot leaves and jute leaves. Prepare your other ingredients and set aside. Cut and wash your proteins and put them into your cooking pot. Put the pot on fire. Add water, seasoning of your choice and dry pepper. Cover the pot and allow the meat to cook. After 10 minutes, add your stockfish, cover and allow your proteins cook to almost done. Put the limestone into a separate pot and add water. Bring the pot to a boil. When the limestone starts steaming, decant the upper liquid part into your soup pot containing your proteins. Be careful not to allow sand into the pot. Put your soup pot back on fire to continue cooking. From that moment, don't cover your pot anymore to avoid overspilling of the content. Season with dry pepper, salt and any other seasoning of your choice and allow the soup to come to a boil. As the soup starts boiling, add your dry fish and continue cooking. After 5 minutes, go in with your okra and stir very well. Allow the soup to continue cooking without the cover. After another 5 minutes, add your vegetables starting with the editan leaves and then the jute leaves. Stir and allow to continue cooking. After 5 more minutes, add your palm oil and stir to combine very well. After 3 more minutes, add your hot leaves, stir very well, and your uton soup is ready.
Alright guys, the food is here and it's time for us to taste this soup. Let's dig in.
So
Okay.
You use 2 hands.
Two hands. Two
Okay.
hands.
Okay.
You use 2 hands.
Okay, you use 2 hands to.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you cannot leave this thing on forward. You cannot open it with 1 hand. It's only two hands you will use to do it. To open the envelope. This is African envelope.
Okay.
This is long African envelope.
Okay, so this is how they open it.
Yep, like an envelope.
Just like an envelope because it is African long envelope. You open it exactly as you are opening an envelope.
Okay.
Then inside it you see what we put inside and do.
Okay.
You see the soup is too draw because of what we are using to cook it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Even you can You can lick your the whole finger safe because of how the thing is drawn.
Slimy.
Yes.
This is very nice. So guys, the texture of this soup is it's like okra soup or raw soup, but it has like the mixture of different flavors inside here. You know, I can get the okra because they use the okra, so I can get the okra, the taste of the okra, but also the combination of these 3 leaves inside here gave it one kind of, will I say epic? If I say epic now, you people say it's because it's my channel. Yeah, it gave it one kind of village vibe, like a local. This is really an ancient food. It's very, very nice. I can eat this every day for 1 week.
Really?
Yes.
1 week?
Yes, 1 week. I like it.
It's
very nice.
So I believe I can ask Mama, what is the difference between this and okra?
An okra soup.
Yes.
Yeah, the difference between this and okra, proper okra soup.
A very clear difference is that in okra, ordinary okra soup, you will not put limestone.
Okay.
This limestone makes it to have the different taste completely from already.
Okay.
Yeah. Why we call it uton is because of the limestone, and that makes it to have different taste and different flavor, everything different from ordinary okra soup.
Okay.
The 5th dish on our list is one of the best tasting soups I've ever eaten. It is the most important soup to the people of Eda in Ebonyi State. This soup is called eburebu. Eburebu soup is a type of vegetable soup that is prepared exclusively by the Eda and Afikpo people of Ebonyi State, Nigeria.
Eburebu soup is the most important food we eat in Eda.
Okay.
There is nothing visually we do in Eda that we don't cook eburebu.
Its name is derived from the specific method used in preparing the soup.
In my native dialect, we call it eburebu. For a reason. The reason is that when you bring the parboiled vegetable and put in something where you cut it, we call it obubu. You know, so from that particular obubu thing, we now brought about eburebu. That was where the name was carved out from.
According to the locals, the discovery of this soup has a story behind it, and today I have come to hear the full story of how this amazing soup came to be.
As the story was told by our fathers, eburebu soup came about by accident. There was this man who married 2 wives.
Okay.
And you know, when you marry a new wife and everything, your favoritism and
it will be for the new wife.
Yes, goes to the new wife.
Okay.
So when you married the new wife, during one of our festivals or our New Yam festivals, so we usually make a particular type of soup.
Okay.
Called oha soup with balls of egusi.
Okay.
There must be egusi in the soup.
Inside the oha soup.
Inside the oha soup. So it was normally supposed to be that soup on that particular festival. So because of this favoritism that has come into this man's house, the first wife was rejected and not given money to prepare her own dish.
Okay.
So that her friends and relatives who comes to celebrate with her
will also
partake. Okay. So this woman, when she had no choice or when she was left with no choice, she went to her farm. She had vegetable, of course.
Okay.
Pumpkin leaf, which the Igbos popularly call ogu leaf, farm. So she went to her farm, gathered all these vegetables and came home. She had little to nothing to make this vegetable with. So what she did was, there's this scenty pepper we call osumangbe that is usually light green. So she had this pepper from her farm too, and a little bit of ingredient from here and there. She brought it together and made this food. So when people came to celebrate with the family, of course, the other wife brought out the normal melon soup that's supposed to be for the festival. Yeah. She also brought her own vegetable. But as the case may be, people were curious to really taste this type of soup that this woman brought out.
Which was like, it was strange.
It was strange to people. People didn't know about this food before now. So everybody wanted to let's taste this food and know the history or what it's really all about. So lo and behold, people tested it and it turned out well.
So is there someone that will cook it for us so we can see it, how they cook it?
There's someone I've already contacted who can help us and make this particular delicacy. Okay. So we may go and see her.
Okay.
If you wish.
No problem. All right, guys, let's go and see how they prepare this important soup of the Edda people in Ebonyi State. Let's go.
The ingredients you need include pumpkin leaves or ugu in Igbo language. You will be needing a whole lot of this vegetable for this soup. You also need potash or akamu, stockfish, onions, pomo or cow skin, fresh pepper, goat meat or any protein of your choice, crayfish and smoked fish. Start by plucking the pumpkin leaf and slicing it into large pieces. You don't need to slice it very well at this stage. Set the vegetable aside for later. Wash your goat meat and put them into a cooking pot. Add chopped onions, salt and seasoning and put the pot on fire. Allow the goat meat to cook in its own juice. After 15 to 20 minutes or when the meat is cooked enough, bring the pot down and set aside. Wash your pomo very well. Cut the washed pomo into bite-sized pieces and set aside. Wash and put your stockfish into a separate pot. Wash and add part of the smoked fish into the pot. Add some water. Cover the pot and put the pot on fire to cook. As the stockfish is cooking, pound your fresh pepper and crayfish and set aside. When the stockfish starts boiling, add your pomo and fresh pepper and cover to cook. After 10 minutes, add your crayfish and cover to cook till the pomo is soft enough. When the pomo is soft enough, bring down the pot and set aside. Now wash your chopped vegetables with salt and water and put the vegetables into a separate pot. Put the pot on fire and allow to cook. Mix your potash with some water and allow to settle. Decant the upper part of the water into the pot containing the vegetables. Cover and allow the vegetables to come to a boil. When the vegetables starts boiling, stir very well, bring down the pot and set aside. Now it's time to combine everything. Heat up some palm oil. I mean a whole lot of palm oil. If you hate palm oil, then this soup is not for you. When the oil is heated up, add some salt and chopped onions. Fry this for a few seconds, then add the contents of the pot with the stockfish in it. Add seasoning of your choice and the remaining portion of your smoked fish. Allow this cook for 2 to 3 minutes before adding your goat meat. Stir very well and allow the sauce to cook for 5 to 10 minutes. As the sauce is cooking, scoop your boiled vegetables into a chopping board and finally chop the vegetables into a rough paste. This step is what gave the soup its iconic name, Eburebu. After chopping the vegetables, transfer the vegetables into the soup pot and combine. Taste and adjust any lacking ingredients and your Eburebu soup is ready.
This soup is looking so fine and the aroma is something else. I can perceive the aroma is so wonderful, guys. I wish you were here to perceive the aroma of this soup. Oh no. Oh no. Guys, this soup is one of a kind. Very delicious. The vegetable is soft and still maintain the color, the green color of the vegetable. The vegetable is very soft. And then the oil, so I don't know if the frying of the oil affected the taste of the oil, because you can get a distinctive taste from this oil that is quite different from every other soup I've eaten. Honestly, this soup is a legendary soup. I must commend other people for making this type of soup. It's very delicious.
Don't it say for me?
I'm doing it behind. Why I tell you to me, I can't. I'm not to order. My auntie say I should ask you, how do you see this soup?
My brother, words can't explain the taste I'm getting from this soup. If you ask me, I'm not going to rate this soup with all the soup I've eaten here in Ebonyi State. I'm going to rate this soup among all the soups I've eaten in the entire Nigeria. And my brother, this is in the top 3. This soup is wonderful. It's exceptional. I must commend your auntie. Thank you very much. Guys, this soup is something else. Alright guys, we have come to the end of today's video. I want to enjoy this food, but before then, like, share and subscribe. And if you love food content like this, don't forget to turn on your notification button so that anytime we post a video like this, you'll be the first to know. And always remember, eat to live while I live to eat. I am Mr. Epic. See you next time.